I know we talked about tight ends. Like, it's such a tricky position because really it's like Kelsey, Andrews, nothing else dependable or viable. The only guy I wanted to kind of emphasize, and I don't even know how I feel about it, but George Kittle has the softest schedule for the rest of season and the softest schedule for your fantasy playoffs. And we saw last year a similar situation. It did, injuries around him happened to facilitate a massive breakout, but he had a huge stretch run last year where he's the tight end one for a 3 to 4 week span. He got hurt himself afterwards, but we know that very few tight ends have the ceiling that George Kittle can. You also now have CMC there. You have Brandon Ayuk. Debo just came back as well. So it is tricky, but man, that schedule is so juicy when you got Arizona twice. You got Seattle on the docket in your fantasy playoffs. You got the Raiders giving up the second most points in your championship week. You could see a monster Kittle couple of games here that really tilt titles. And after a few duds in a row, I don't think he's going to be overly expensive to get. I don't know. Am I crazy to think Kittle's at least a decent buy to toss out some offers for before the deadline, or do you see it just too congested at this point?
I could kind of see it going either way because his expected numbers look a little bit better than what he's been. He's currently averaging 11.6 expected fantasy points per game, which is about tight end 10, but he's only like a couple expected fantasy points away from tight end 3, which is Zach Ertz, who obviously is out for this season and can't be relied on in fantasy lineups anymore. But there's just kind of a big group of guys, like you said, behind Kelsey and Andrews that I'm not super confident which one's going to separate from the pack. I guess Dalton Schultz would probably be my pick to finish tight end 3 right now, but he's probably not going to be very easy to buy since he just had a really good week last week.
Yeah, I know he was your guy last week. Your buy low, he's hinted at the top in terms of like James Conner and Jonathan Taylor and Schultz. I mean, knocked it out of the park. If only we had started the stream last week, we'd have a lot of returning buyers, I'm sure. But you've been money all year with the buy lows, the sell highs. Want to just continue to pump that up, Wolfpack. It's on rotostreetjournal.com. We got the trade value chart. We got the expected fantasy points and the buy low, sell high based off of it. And it's been really on point throughout the year. So make sure you guys do check that out. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.